I know we're going to get into the 49ers, but I'm just going to say this, and I want just hear me out, all right? Just hear me out before you start
want
to
Chris Paul on the team.
No, this is the deal. Look,
We're
everybody who
stage.
thinks that the rookies are going to make mistakes at every single turn, I'm asking you. So now you have a Hall of Fame point guard who's clearly at the end of his road, all right? Hall of Fame point guard at the end of his road who can come in, play a much lesser role. You could pick and choose his spots. Maybe sometimes he's in a finishing lineup when needed, but he can help solidify the second unit, can play off of Steph Curry to allow him to be off ball, can help facilitate for Klay Thompson. A Hall of Fame point guard who has the one hole of his entire resume is winning the big one, and you want to win one other big one. Why wouldn't you, at the right price, entertain Chris Paul? You can accept Richard Sherman as a Niner. You can accept, Oral Hershiser as a Giant. You can't accept CP3 at the end of his career coming in for a dirt cheap
for
deal.
For veteran minimum, sure, but look, he's not the same defender he once was.
Of course.
He's going to get hurt. He's a stationary player. He could barely bring the ball up the floor.
They navigated the Otto Porter Jr. waters in terms of health.
Yeah, they did.
Younger player,
they did.
Different.
Very young.
So
Chris Paul... Boy, if you could even make the playoffs.
All I'm saying is to write it off to me.
How about this, though?
That's too emotional based.
No. Nobody's writing it off. I'm
not
writing
you.
it
I'm
off.
saying
No.
Warrior
I wouldn't
fans.
even. But think about Chris Paul for a second. You have to navigate through a regular season just to get to the playoffs. So that means navigating Chris Paul, you're going to be without one of your core bench players. He's definitely not playing back-to-backs.
Okay.
We know that.
So he fits
Dr.
in.
Rick Celebrini. So then, where are you going to be seated at? It was tough for them to make the top 6 this season. Now they're going to be a year older.
I hear you.
I
hear you. But again, if you're looking for veteran leadership, if you're looking for guys who are going to buy in and not
is Chris Paul a
sulk,
leader?
What?
Is Chris Paul really a leader?
Look, we may hate him.
No. To hear me out here for a second.
Yeah, he is a leader.
Chris Paul.
He is a leader.
Really?
I think you're being too harsh because of the playoff. Look.
No. It has nothing to do with that. You're not even giving me a chance.
Oh, because players don't like him? Blake Griffin
in Lob City.
Who has Blake Griffin played well with?
Right.
Other than Chris Paul.
Chris Paul going down to Houston.
His best years were with him.
Going down to Chris Paul in Houston.
Who has Harden played well with?
Okay, but he gets into it with a lot of people.
I agree.
Phoenix. Who got into it with Aiden?
Well, yeah,
They
but
want
Booker and him got
team.
along.
Didn't get into it with. He didn't get along with Aiden, did he?
Well, Ayton seems to be a guy who also alienated his coach.
He took the money before Ayton and took that max deal, which
agree.
got Ayton was like, wait a minute, why am I not getting paid?
But we are isolating three guys that have pretty big character flaws.
Every stop he's made, he's been part of the reason why stars don't get. He bailed on OKC the minute they had a great season. And he couldn't wait 24 hours to say, yeah, I don't know about being here long term, blah, 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 blah. Get me out of here. I don't know about a leader. His leadership has been questioned every stop he's been. Every stop he's been to.
Vontae, he's more of a leader than whatever if everyone wants to say the young guys can't contribute, the young guys aren't, they're pouting, they're doing this. Now you have a guy who's a veteran who has been the top dog on a team for many, many years and realizes he can't be that guy anymore. It's absolutely absurd that you wouldn't even at least consider it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. But don't miss me with the leadership stuff because he has not been a leader, in my opinion. Every stop he's gone to, there's been some friction or something like that.
I don't think they need him to be the leader on the Warriors. They just need him to be not a powder and a non-existent guy who can't play.
The minute Chris Paul flops, you would be screaming loudly.
No, this is what I would say. That's our flop. I'll take that offensive charge.
You're unbelievable.
Same way that we all root for Draymond. And if Draymond was a king,
he drives you crazy too.
What?
He drives you crazy too.
Of course he does, but that's my crazy.
Miss me with Chris.
I'm saying for the right price, I would consider it. I'm not crossing it off.
Yeah, I didn't say I was crossing it off either. There's a lot of warts. It sounds good on paper. It sounds good.
All veteran minimums have warts.
When
Can
you
we
start to break
that?
it down, he's a traffic cone on defense at this point.
Yes.
He can't stay healthy.
Yes.
I don't even know if he's going to make it to the playoffs. The Phoenix Suns manage him as well as you can manage a veteran, and he still couldn't make it through this first round of the playoffs without getting hurt. I mean, this guy is cooked.
That's when he has to carry the load and be your point guard.
He didn't have to carry the load last year.
No, I'm saying as a
Devin
starter.
Booker was down there carrying load, and you had Ayton, you had Mikal Bridges for a lot of. He was a starter, yes, and they still managed him. I'm good off.
Okay.
The more I think about it, I'm kind of good off.
No matter what the price is.
I don't know. Boy, that'd be tough. That'd be a tough sell. That'd be a tough sell to me.
I'm just saying I'd be open to it.
That'd be a tough sell. I'm not saying no to it, but it'd be a tough sell. Let's go to Tim in Raleigh, North Carolina. What's happening? You're on the roast, Tim. Long time no talk.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? I know, man, I wasn't able to get in early this week, so I wanted to hit y'all on this one. So, guys, just talking about the Kerr and the Draymond thing, man. I know I'm getting in late, but, guys, just look at this from the outside, right? You got the guy who seemed more concerned about the leak than the punch on the show with the guy who did the punch, kind of making veiled comments about the guy who got punched. Like, dude, I'm telling y'all, Kerr is low-key messy and a hypocrite. I mean, just think about the look on that, right? Like, I'm across the country, and I can see how that looks, let alone Jordan Poole's family and agents, the rest of the players on this team, family and agents. Just think about that. The hypocritical part about how everything is kept in-house. We keep it quiet. We keep it quiet. Oh, but when Steph has a meeting, everybody knows about that. We keep it quiet. We keep it quiet. But it's a meeting with Clay about he's shooting too much. We all know about that. But nobody never knew anything about Andrew Wiggins, right? Kept that quiet the whole time. I'm telling y'all guys, Kurt is low-key messy, a little bit unprofessional, and a hypocrite. And I don't know what this is all about, what he's going for, him and Draymond trying to do this. It's just a bad look, man. I mean, like y'all was saying yesterday, man, you guys were hitting it on the money. From the outside looking in, what kind of player is thinking about, oh, I want to go join that team, but the coach and another player do podcasts about other players that they talking about? I mean, it's just a bad look overall, fellas. So, yeah, I just wanted to catch up with you guys, man. I just sitting here looking at that, just kind of putting yourself in the position of some of these players on this team. It's almost go ahead.
No, I was going to add, because you're saying a lot of things that we agree with. I'm not going to say Steve Kerr's a hypocrite or whatnot, but I did not like the optics of him going on the podcast. I disagree with that. I'm not going to lie to you, Tim. I'm kind of with you there. I'm just not going to name call him whatnot because he's a great guy. But what do you think about CP3? Would you accept CP3 for a vet minimum contract?
No, I mean, on this team, you have personality. Basically, you subbing out CP3. It gets dollar for like a
his phone went out. He's basically saying, no, look, man, CP3 sounds good in theory, and I get he's not going to be a starter, but he's going to want to play some big-time minutes or some important minutes. The Dallas Mavericks 2 years ago played him off the floor. They attacked him at will, and I felt bad for Chris Paul.
Okay.
I felt bad for him. And the need for the Warriors is not the guard position, in my opinion. They need some damn size.
Well, if they trade Jordan Poole, then you're going to need a backup facilitator.
Right.
I think a lot of my premise of being open-minded to it is based off of it feels like Jordan Poole's out the door.
Right. But can you count on CP3 to get?
Of course you can't. But that's why. But that's like me saying, can you count on Dante DiVincenzo come playoff time? Like, no. That's why they're called backups. Yeah. He's a backup.
But Dante, yeah.
And Dante's in his prime. He's different.
Dante got kind of screwed because GP2 came back. And so
agree.
you can't play both of them, and his role got diminished, and that screwed them all up.
Well, and CP3 does not fix the bigger issues of perimeter defense and size and length. But if you need a facilitator, and you do move off Jordan Poole, I can see where it makes sense at the right price.
Oh, my gosh. 38 years old. He just turned 38.
I mean, he's old as hell.
Even I'm looking at his ESPN thing, status, game time decision. So he gave you 14 points, 9 assists, but it's not just the numbers, it's the defense, it's the facilitating. Devin Booker had the ball in his hands a lot. He played 59 regular season games for the Phoenix Suns this year and still couldn't make it.
I know.
Past the first round of the playoffs.
I know.
The games played. Look at the last.
What was he averaging? 35 minutes a game?
He averaged 32 minutes a game.
Yeah. It's a lot of minutes. It's a lot of minutes for a guy his age.
He probably still believes he could play 25, 26 minutes. And he's not going to play back-to-back.
That's the part we can't know. I don't know what his expectations are.
Yeah, vet men, I could be talked into it, But he ain't the player that we all think he is.
No,
he's not even close.
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking more like this. Like, look, they need a veteran guy, the way Dragic is always coveted by somebody in the buyout market who could come in with the second unit for X amount of minutes in that second quarter and get some guys going, especially if I have a bunch of youngsters. If you stay with Kuminga, if you stay with Moody, boy, it'd be nice to have a floor general like CP3 out there, at least getting them better looks. That's all.
Oh, the flopping, the first. I hope, part of it, I'd want it just to see the reaction to the fans the minute he starts flopping and getting cooked.
I can picture it right now. I'm Bonte Hill, and after a great performance in the third quarter tonight, keeping the Warriors in the game, we've got Chris Paul. CP3, you know I've been one of your biggest fans. How you doing, buddy? Spadoni!
Oh, that would eat me up so bad inside. That would eat me up.
They call me Banana Boat Bonte.
Oh, man. Well, I see a call. We got Sterling Bennett coming up here, but I want to take this call.
Uh-oh. Are they coming for my head?
It's not who I think it is. Draymond in San Francisco? Draymond Green, you're on the morning roast.
No. I just want to come and just let you guys know that, you guys are here talking about the CP3 and the Warriors, but the Warriors should mainly be focused on getting a big man, because I feel like, let's be real, the only reason why the Warriors lost in the playoffs is because they didn't have a big man. If they could get a big man for the next season, they could easily go back to the finals.
Where are these big men? Can I ask you? Like, we all agree, but where are you getting them? You just going to go to Walmart or Ross and pick one up?
Well, that's why you got to. But see, here, this is why. Go ahead, Draymond. Finish.
I'm talking about CP3, but I could see Ayton being on the Warriors if I'm being completely honest.
It's a lot of money.
Here's my deal. Thanks for the call, Draymond.
Although Jordan Poole would be fun on Phoenix.
This is why I don't like throwing names out there. And, everybody's got their trade machine and everybody thinks. I don't know who's available. I don't know what teams want to move off of. Like Chris Middleton, for example, just had arthroscopic surgery on his knee.
Again.
I don't know who's available for what price. So I don't want to play the game of, hey, what big man is available out there? Because I simply do not know.
Well, but I do know Chris Paul's on the outs with Phoenix. So that's why I was like, hey, if the price is right, all right, and he's willing to accept the lesser role, I'm open-minded to it, even though I couldn't stand the guy for the majority of his career. If Steph wants it, I want it.
A lot of people complain and say the Warriors are old, and now you're getting older by bringing in Chris Paul.
It's just one spot.
He's going to be 39.
It's one spot. That doesn't mean you can't get, different around him.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't solve everything.
Doesn't solve everything at all.
In fact, it only solves one thing.
You imagine
facilitating for the second unit.
Chris Paul in the react offense.
Was the second unit of his consistent?
Career. No, it wasn't, but that was because there was a lot of injuries to starters. Yeah, there was a lot of guys starting and benching, so we never saw connectivity with this basketball team.
Wouldn't you also say erratic playmaking as well?
But it's tough to judge the Warriors because Wiggins missed 40-plus games. Steph missed 20-plus games. Poole was in and out of the starting lineup. Clay didn't play back-to-back.
You don't think your second unit, a lot of if you kept a couple young guys, wouldn't benefit from having someone like the skill set of Chris Paul offensively?
You imagine Chris
for
Paul,
short periods.
Listen, just hear me out for a second. You imagine Chris Paul in the react offense?
Who says you got to do it? He runs his own offense.
Oh, Steve Kerr allowing somebody to run his own offense.
He loves a veteran. This isn't a rookie. It's a veteran.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's about collaboration.
Oh, my gosh.
And CP3 loves to collaborate.
Boy, you know what? After hearing you talk, I'm a hard no on CP3.
Kaminga going baseline alley-oop.
Keep him away from the Bay Area. Keep him away from the Bay Area. Please. Dear God. I don't think you guys... You don't watch League Pass. So you're just saying this because of his reputation. Watch Chris Paul. Go back and watch Chris Paul last year. He's not the same player. Even as a backup, he's a traffic cone. You think Patrick Beverly was lying on first take? The guy's he can't guard anybody no more.
Beverly, come on.
As much as he facilitates and sets it up for the team, he's giving up buckets.
They were picking up Brad Wanamaker.
That was 2 years ago. You stuck on that. They won a championship since then. They won a championship last year.
Vet men guys give you. They got Michael Green with the vet men.
I'd rather keep Jordan Poole on this team than have CP3.
Well,
I'd rather keep Jordan Poole.
I would too, but I don't think they can do that. I mean, when you Bonte, I would like Jordan Poole and Draymond Green to be able to kiss and make up and move forward, but that doesn't seem reasonable, right? So, like, of anyone you get in the Vetman buyout has major flaws. Was JaMychal Green some unbelievable acquisition?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Did you watch Chris Paul last year?
He was better than JaMychal Green.
Have you watched him the last 2 years, Shasky?
Yeah,
the Dallas Mavericks played him off the floor.
And the Dallas Mavericks didn't make the playoffs this year.
But I don't care. But they played him off the floor and exposed him. He was
so did Klay Thompson. Chris started making $43 million.
Paul couldn't even make it.
Played off the floor by 7 different guards in the second
playoffs. He couldn't even make it to the playoffs. He played 59 games. They low managed the hell out of him, and he couldn't even make it to the first round without getting hurt. This guy's a walking injury who can't defend anymore, and he's 38 years old. And you want to bring that guy to this locker room?
No, I said I'm open-minded.
Oh, my God.
To bringing him in at the vet.
His style of play is everything against the Warrior style of play. Everything the Warriors are about, Chris Paul is anti-Warrior. Like, he's anti that.
I thought we wanted vets.
Who said that?
Everyone.
You want that veteran?
Well,
depends on the veteran.
I'm just saying.
Depends on the veteran.
I'm just saying.
Gosh. Chris Paul, watch him from last year. All right, we got Sterling Bennett on. We'll get back to Chris Paul because this is fascinating. I can't believe.
If Steph Curry came out and said, you know what, I want CP3, would you be more open-minded? I'm just asking.
Steph Curry came out and said he wanted Avery Bradley. What happened?
Well, he was wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
players could be wrong. Sometimes you got to let the decision makers make the decisions, and the players got to play.
No, I agree with that.
My opinion would not change.
It would not change?
No.
Okay.
No, it would not. May not. Oh my gosh.